Excited rugby fans in Samoa finally get what they've been waiting for, history in their homeland.
22, and here is an opportunity.
Kia ora, good evening, and talofa. It made history and a lot of people happy. Its smiles, winning smiles as wide as the Pacific in Samoa tonight, despite its rugby team losing to the All Blacks.
In the end, the result was secondary, with rugby, camaraderie and good cheer the winner on the day. They're watching all the action and the festivities. One News reporter Will Hine, who joins us now live from Apia. Will.
Yes, good evening. Hello, it's been a fairly special day here today. I swear there's still a little bit of magic in the air. There's certainly lots of smiles on the faces of people around here, people who have witnessed a remarkable day. It's been a day in which a game of rugby has stopped a nation. There were adults off work today, there were school children off school. Many thousands of them all came down here to see history being made. As for the rugby, well, it started off fairly slowly, but by the end of the second half, this was a game which had certainly lived up to its billing. The sound and sight Samoans have waited a lifetime for. The two Pacific nations firstly going toe-to-toe with traditional challengers, and then with ball in hand.
Thumping defence.
A sea of blue filled the stadium, the excitement and their true colours clearly seen in their faces. Some were there for the All Blacks, a lot for Manu Samoa, many a mixture of both.
I've got strong links obviously to New Zealand rugby, over 100 games for the All Blacks, and but equally, you know, coaching Manu Samoa. My two sons played for Samoa.
The trialless first half had some wondering what all the fuss was about, but the wait was rewarded in the second half when a Tongan went over, albeit one dressed in black.
And stretching, and he's in.
The biggest cheer of the day, though, was reserved for a boy in blue when he crashed over.
Totoliki inside the 22, and here is an opportunity. And Fosaliba.
In the end, it wasn't enough. The AB's scraping home with the win.
And the final whistle blows. The All Blacks have the victory.
The welcome we got when we arrived on Monday night was pretty special. Finally, to everyone here, thank you for making us stay so welcome. Cheers.
John Key flew into the island nation this morning, partly there for some official duties, but with one event overshadowing all else.
It's a pretty special day. I don't normally turn up in a country where most of the members of the media are wearing jerseys of their national sporting team and having flags on their cheeks.
The PM's trip proved popular, 11 MPs choosing to come on this important diplomatic mission. At the end of the day, it wasn't about the result, rather a long-held dream finally coming true. Will Hine, One News. So, what an advert for Pacific Island rugby, and not just Pacific Island rugby, but rugby in general. I imagine that the NZRU will have Samoa on the phone fairly shortly asking for another similar tour, and not just them, probably the likes of Tonga and Fiji as well. Of course, games like this, they don't make as much money as the likes of a Four Nations tour or an end of season tour to Europe, but against that you have to measure up the goodwill generated, something not easily measured in dollars, and I think what we've seen the past few days is a tremendous amount of goodwill, and no doubt something that will need to be taken into account by the NZRU as they look to consider whether they return to this part of the world.
All right, thanks Will Hine in Apia.
And fans were not disappointed by the historic occasion. Over 8,000 packed the stadium, with fever pitch building throughout the day, and McKeeling is in Apia.
All the passion and the pressure that had been building for weeks finally erupted from Manu Samoa. Siva Tau, their war dance, they were fighting for their country's rugby pride. All day in the streets of Apia, people prepared. The food stalls were fired up early and the people were in front of the big screen at 10 o'clock to get the best seat.
Go Manu!
Supporters in blue were all along the road to the stadium.
Go the All Blacks!
A sprinkling of black jerseys among them. At the stadium, fans were warmed up and ready for action.
Oh, that's the #1 team in the world!
8,000 strong, they were hungry for rugby and hot dogs.
Is that all for you?
Yes, why not?
Visiting All Black fans had kept themselves busy all day.
Did you walk? Yes.
Well, from the bar.
But people were tired of talking about it. They just wanted the game to start. Inside the gate, they weren't disappointed. Every tackle met with a roar. In the car park at the stadium, the boys had brought their own seat.
Oh, I'm really happy.
But the All Blacks were building a lead and Samoan fans were struggling until the might of Manu crossed that magical white line and fans went berserk. It came down to the wire, but in the end, the world champions were the winners. It was time to go home and talk about the day the All Blacks came to town.
Well, the game's ended and everybody's making their way back into town to party a little harder, I'm sure. But did they like the game? Who loved the game? Well, the Samoan fans, there was one guy they weren't very pleased with.
Sorry to say this, but I just hate the referee. Yeah, sorry to say that.
So should the All Blacks come back?
Yes.
It's been a magical few days. It's hard to know why they wouldn't want to. Emma Keeling, One News, Apia.
And it was an equally big day for the 150,000 Samoans living here. Max Banya found 300 passionate fans making plenty of noise in South Auckland.
A club that's produced a dozen All Blacks screaming for the blue of Samoa.
It's more than a game. The spirit, because it's a historical event. And it's both exciting and emotional.
Almost 100,000 Samoans live in Auckland. It felt like most of them were here at Otahuhu Rugby Club, including a couple of former stars.
A lot, makes a lot. That's why you can see all they come and see the young kids, children, the babies, all, you know, the grandma, the moms, they're all here to support.
The day started with prayers, kava and kai before the main event kicked off. And as the hosts ran the All Blacks ragged, Samoan fans dared to dream.
Who are you supporting?
I've got a black head and a blue heart.
They've had to shut the front door here. The club rooms are at complete full capacity, and every Samoan run, every big hit, every penalty is being greeted with incredible noise.
Then from high drama to high farce as the TV signal cut out. Cue concerned looks and behind-the-scenes scrambling until the band kicked in again, and within moments 300 fans were rocking to an island beat. In the end, it wasn't quite a fairy tale finish.
But the result shows that Manu Samoa is on his way back to where he should be.
But there was still plenty of Samoan pride 3,000 kilometres from home. Max Banya, One News.
Kia ora, welcome back to sport on what has been an historic day for Test match rugby. When the All Blacks play Samoa in New Zealand, they beat them by an average of 50 points. Today, in the islands, they won by just 9. The physical clash wasn't always pretty. Samoa more than held their own. But 4 new All Blacks got a run, and the men in black did win, 25-16. For more on today's test, let's go live to Apia Park and Emma Keeling. Emma.
Most thought it would be a one-sided affair. The All Blacks would win again. But the Manu Samoan fans had hope. And in the end, it was a lot closer than people expected.
If the pre-match challenges were anything to go by, this was going to be one physical test match.
Challenges laid down and accepted.
New boy George Moala leading the charge with some physical running, before Dan Carter gave the visitors an early lead.
Break down the centre.
Carter would then stretch that lead to 6, before Samoa pulled 3 back.
From a long way out, and it is a beauty.
That long-range effort giving Samoa confidence to chance their arm.
Opportunity for Tuolangi, chased by Reid.
Handling mistakes would prove costly though, as both teams never came close to scoring a first-half try.
There goes the half-time siren.
12-3 at the break, then finally some life from the All Blacks in the second half.
Moala coming quickly, and Moala now, can he keep going, George Moala? And stretching, and he's in.
Not a bad way to score your first test try, as the match looked to finally be opening up. Penalties from both sides giving the All Blacks a 22-9 advantage, before Samoa's hard-nosed running broke the Kiwis' defence.
Inside the 22, and here is an opportunity, and Fosaliba. Well, that's brought the house down.
The home crowd erupting, Samoa back to win the 6 points with 14 minutes remaining. A late penalty though put the match out of reach. The All Blacks home 25-16 and showing a few battle scars in a far from convincing win.
I will say to the Manu Samoan team, the way you played, that's what true Test match rugby is all about.
Thank you, Richie Makua, the captain and the #1 team in the world. I hope this is the start of our campaign. Hopefully we'll come back and we'll try again and again and again.
Not the historic win Samoa was hoping for, but an effort they can certainly be proud of.
Can I just say, everything stopped for a couple of hours in the 7 Sharp pod today, apart from one Pippa Wetzel, who would intermittently leap off the couch yelling at the TV. I was like, Pip, chill out, relax, it's only a game.
Oh, Jack, it was so much more than a game, and it was pretty exciting. I make absolutely no apologies for my behaviour during the All Blacks Samoa game, and so much of the best stuff happened off the field over the past week. Here's Jahan Casanada.
Let's be honest, how often in sport do we see this?
That's awesome. Absolutely unbelievable. Come on!
Old rivals welcomed as mates.
Pretty overwhelmed, to be honest. It's an amazing response.
Unusual? Most definitely. But this is different. This is Samoa, our neighbour and the breeding ground for some of our top talent.
Future All Blacks.
Isn't it incredible, then? They've been waiting for us to pay a visit for almost a century. For a few days of build-up, competition was set aside in favour of celebration. But come game time, the gloves were off. A few jangled nerves for us, a few moments of pride for them, and a result we can all live with. Hopefully it won't be the last time our boys set foot on Samoan soil, because for these kids, moments like this, they're what dreams are made of.
This has truly been such a fantastic experience. Everyone looks like they've been having a brilliant time, including our very own Emma Keeling, who of course has been across this all week in Apia. She joins us now live from Samoa.
Well, good evening. Yes, here we are. It's Apia. It's so sad. It's been such an incredible week, but I'm very fortunate because I started my week with a legend, Inga Tuigamala, and here I am. It seems so apt that I'm standing right next to you now. Inga, you were sitting just over there today. How was that game?
Oh, look, my voice says it all. I'm absolutely speechless. My voice is gone. But I was sitting there with some of the greats, Joe Stanley, Eric Rush, and Slade McFarlane, and Dylan Mika, and all the boys, and some of the ex-Manu Samoan boys, Mark Britt Whistle, and we're just ecstatic, you know, just to see something that a lot of people has dreamed over the years, to see it to come to fruition. And to see the mighty All Blacks here in Samoa, it's just a wonderful, wonderful experience for all who attended the game.
A few days ago, you said to me there's only two reasons the All Blacks will come back. That's one, if they lose, or B, if it's a close game. So, what do you reckon?
Well, the All Blacks didn't lose today, but we, you know, the Manu Samoa certainly pushed them all the way. Look, you know, our whole nation were clapping and just over the moons the way the Manu Samoa boys lived up and stood up against the mighty All Blacks, and it was a victory, and a moral victory for us, but it's just seeing a lot of the dreams of people come true today. And we had so many people travel all around the world to mark this historical occasion. And personally myself, I want to thank the New Zealand people. I want to thank the New Zealand Rugby Union, Steve Chu, and New Zealand Rugby Union for giving this opportunity to Manu Samoa and its people, because I think it's been, you know, it's been long overdue, and but just the people have accepted the challenge. You know, even the tourists that's come over here, and the supporters from the All Blacks that have come here from New Zealand, they've just been absolutely amazed at the way they've been well received here, and just the way Samoans celebrate, whether they're winning or losing. So yes, the Samoans lost today, but the performance will live long in the memories of those who came to see the mighty blue team perform.
And what about that world stage? Do you think the people have opened their eyes up overseas and thought, hang on, ooh, World Cup? Oh, yeah, definitely. Look, you know, both teams today used this game as a stepping stone to the World Cup later on this year, and it'll be very, very interesting. In fact, Richie McCaw, in his speech at the end of the game, congratulated the Manu Samoa and their efforts, and say they're going to be, if they carry on playing the way they played today, they're going to be a real force to be reckoned with. But we already know that. You know, Manu Samoa, when it comes to World Cup, they step up, and they're the big giant killers when it comes to big-time rugby and upsets. So
we're building nicely, and the whole people of Samoa are very proud of the way the boys played today, and that was evident in the sea of blue.
Yeah.
I think I only saw a little bit of patch of blacks along the grandstand, but Emma, you would agree with me that a lot of it was all blue people who turned up in their numbers today.
And there was a party in town. It's so quiet out here, and there's a big party, and we're missing it.
Yes, the town stood still. You know, even the lights were green, but the people just got onto the middle of the road. They were dancing, they were cheering, and I think there'll be a lot of photos to be posted on Facebook later on today. But just pure delight. You know, whether we win or lose, I think what's really important to our people is seeing our boys perform well. And you know, you're talking about stepping up against the best in the world, and we tried that. We came short. And hopefully this is just a stepping stone to bigger and better things. And I do hope that New Zealand Rugby Union will continue to bring the mighty All Blacks here to these shores.
Well, thank you so much for talking to us. I know you've got to dash off to a function. We'll leave you guys to your polar ice blast, and I'm going to go off and have a nice beverage. You have a lovely evening.
Yes, Emma, thank you so much. You go get yourself a nice cold Vailima and see if you can get your hands on some palasami as well. That is quite a treat. Emma Keeling there, of course, with Inga, the winger.
I tell you what, Inga wasn't the only one with kind of split allegiances today. Pip was in the office. Obviously, you got your Samoan links. Pip was crying pretty loud for the Samoan team. And afterwards, she said to me, I've won some money. So it turns out that Pippa Wetzel isn't just Pippa Wetzel, she's Punter Wetzel. She likes to have a bit of a punt. Went down to the TAB today. I said, did you pick that game? You put money on the All Blacks? Pippa said, oh, well, actually, I put money on the All Blacks to win, Samoa to win, and for a draw. So I don't know that's how...
Well, yes, actually, I put only a bet on the All Blacks to win by a small margin, not by a big margin.
Yeah,
hey, it was a small win, and it was a great game.
It was an incredible occasion. Can only be appropriate to finish our show tonight with a tip of our hat to the NZRU, to Manu Samoa, and to everyone who helped get the game in Apia. The mighty Manu have been playing Test rugby for 90 years now, so it took long enough, but man, was it worth it? Worth it for the All Blacks, who, sure, mightn't have made the same cash as they would have for a sold-out test at Eden Park or Twickenham, but have won so much appreciation and goodwill. Worth it for those of us who've long yearned for the good old days of midweek tests, where, with a half-decent boss or a bit of a cough and a headache, we could have a few hours off work on a Wednesday afternoon, a bit of a punt in Pippa's case, to enjoy the game. And worth it, so worth it, to a country that has given so much to our national game. That's 7 sharp. We're back tomorrow. Ka kite anō.
Challenges laid down and accepted. And this historic match about to get underway here at Apia Park. And the kickoff is made. And claimed by Sam Whitelock for the All Blacks. Part of this vastly experienced forward pack. Andy Ellis back in the black jersey for the first time in 4 years. Makes the kick downfield as the All Blacks go into challenge, and it's gone back and flicked in field. Oh, loose ball. Kieran Reid almost had it, but I think he knocked it on in the process. Yes, he did. Carter moves it on to Williams. Here is Piatau having a chance to stretch the legs. And again, a big hit coming in. As Charles Piutau, at least George Moala, knocked it away, and there's some fierce tackles coming in, but offside play once more. Oh, off the post, and in it goes, threatening to go to the left. But the 3 points registered, and it's 6 points to nil after 17 minutes. But he has a lot of luck with injuries, Luke Romano. Let's hope it's just temporary. So Brodie Retallick out there as Samoa win the line out, and it's crashed up by Johnny Leota. Now PC hands it on to Perez. Just in All Black territory. And once again, the All Blacks strong defence led by McCaw and Whitelock, who's been prominent. Penalty coming as Fotoliki grabs it out. Now PC, good running ball here, and a chance for Alofa.
Some shot from France.
Now hooker Ave, and the referee will go back to the original penalty. First scoring opportunity then for Samoa in this game. And PC from a long way out, and it is a beauty.
Fine. Set.
Fotoliki. And a scrum under pressure, and a scrum that has collapsed on this near side.
Not my call. 3 and 2 collapsing.
And Census Johnson cannot believe as Owen Franks comes up flexing the arm. Another one for Carter. That's 4 so far. 12 points to 3.
Fine. Sit.
Ellis gets it in. Right on halfway, the All Blacks decide to take it forward, and they've got themselves a penalty as Ellis feeds it to Carter. Again, the flat kick from Carter. Moala coming quickly, and Moala now, can he keep going, George Moala? And stretching, and he's in. Try on debut for George Moala.
That was the space, as we saw in the first half, because Tuolangi is left out on his own there. The first, second 5 centre for Samoa are quite tight. Instead of using the hand to get the ball there, they decided to use the boot. This time Carter got it bang on, but Moala still had a hell of a lot of work to do as he catches the ball. You can see there he has to get through one tackler, has to get rid of Tuolangi, and then 2 more come at him. He has the momentum, the power, and the speed to finish it.
It was a beautiful kick, wasn't it, from Dan Carter? He kept his eye on the ball, and then he brushed off the wannabe tackles, Tuolangi and Nanai Williams. Big moment for George Moala.
Good kick from Dan Carter. So the All Blacks get the second half underway on a high note with a converted try.
Set.
Scrum holds up nicely for Fotoliki. Gives it off to PC. Now the little kick and chase. And didn't quite read it. And it's been lost forward and offside.
Drop him from advantage by playing it on the floor. Lost forward, off his feet and claiming it again.
No problems. Nobody able to curse him. So 2 penalties now for Tusi Pisi. As Fotoliki hands it away. And Jack Lamb makes ground downfield. Now Fotoliki. And there's a big space here, and a real chance for Fosaliva as Fotoliki inside the 22, and here is an opportunity, and Fosaliva.
Well, that's brought the house down. Oh, has it? What? Look at them. The sea of blue has gone crazy, and rightly so. They were playing under advantage Samoa, but they certainly didn't want to go back to the penalty. A couple of tackle busts, and then Falsaliva, well, he had intent on the line. He could see that crowd in the background, and it just motivated him to the try line.
Cowley in 21 at halfback. Fotoli'i's popped out to first 5, and penalty goes against the local team. The scrum under pressure, and this might be a shot at goal.
I actually feel the same as you.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is going to be a shot at goal, because they want to make this safe, because they know it's been one heck of a battle. We see here the All Blacks are dug in this one. Laulala continued to keep pushing. He chased his feet. Pressure certainly on the left-hand side. I think he understands the importance of that one, guys.
So Carter, and it is drifting in. Yes, good kick. Dan Carter lands another penalty, and it's 25-16. Cowley makes the feed. Again, it's a solid All Black scrum, but they've freed it away. Manu Samoa, one last hurrah, perhaps. Good defence by Weber coming back, and Kieran Reid snaps it up inside the 22 as the siren goes, and the All Blacks are going to try and run this out through Sonny Bill Williams. Can't lose the game now, so a little bit of a spectacle to finish perhaps as Weber has a little dart, but he gets nailed in close. Ball turned over. Here's Lamb. Beautiful step. Still going. Jack Lamb, what a run that was. And it's been turned over by the All Blacks. And they're going to try and keep it alive, and Ngatai's had enough, I think. He slams it off downfield. Into touch it goes. And the final whistle blows. The All Blacks have the victory, but they stand for Manu Samoa as well. 25-16 the final score.